What's going on, guys? It's your boy Elisha here, and welcome back to Go. This is a show where we discuss everything in the world of football from the past weekend. By we, of course, I mean myself and you, the beautiful, fantastico, bellissimo people of the world of football. There's a lot, so much to talk about this week. Without further ado, let's get right to the business. So first up, I gotta talk about pretty much one of the funniest things that happened in football for a while. The shade in this, I think it just might gotten a little darker in here, because the shade in this whole situation is so funny. First of all, congratulations to Wales, Denmark, and Switzerland, which was pretty much the last teams to qualify for the Euros, but nonetheless, they secured their spot. But during Wales' game, after it, actually, there's a fan that pulled up to the stadium with a big flag saying, Bale, basically directed towards Bale, Wales, Golf, Madrid, in that order. And if you've been following football for a minute now, and the whole Zidane versus Bale saga and Real Madrid and all that drama that's been happening, you know that there's a running joke about Bale and his love for golf. So it was a funny thing, and he even got the goalkeeper for Wales pointed it out in the crowd, and he got it from the fan, and they took a picture with the whole team, and it was a fun thing. But it seems like a lot of Real fans were pissed off about it, obviously, because Madrid was last on that list, but it was still funny anyways. The fact that he had the balls to even take a picture with it is like, yo, I really don't care what y'all think. I'm having fun with this. Either y'all accept me or y'all don't. I also dropped, it was a little special poem. Y'all could go on my Instagram down below and see what that's all about. Anyways, though, Madrid ended up winning their game versus the Real Sociedad 3-1 this weekend. Modric back on the score sheet again. Benzema still killing it on top of the La Liga score sheet, and they're doing good. It wasn't the most amazingly convincing, dominating performance, but Real are doing good. They're going to play in the Champions League this week, so they have a really confident squad going in. Just the fact that they were able to score 3 past Real Sociedad, they're still on Barcelona's tail in La Liga. So right now, I don't think there's anything they should be fearing going into the Champions League. They have a great momentum going. But speaking of Barcelona, they also got a win, even less convincingly than Real Madrid did, but it doesn't matter. That's what a lot of fans don't realize. It doesn't matter if it was win by a little bit or by a lot. The 3 points are what matters. They're still on top of La Liga. Vidal and Luis Suarez were able to get on the score sheet. Messi with a beautiful assist. And that's it. They got their 3 points. Right now, it's super tight. Barca's leading La Liga table on goal difference. So both teams have had their ups and downs right now in the beginning of the season. Really, no Barcelona or Real Madrid fans, if y'all are arguing, it's really because of pride. Because there's nothing to be cocky about right now. They're so leveled this season. But now let's talk just quickly a little bit about the Bundesliga and really about Dortmund and the fact that they were losing 3-0 at halftime. 3-0. Marco Reus was able to put the last goal in the 92nd minute to equalize for Dortmund and save them and give them that point. Still, Mönchengladbach is number 1 and Dortmund is 6th, and is still just 5 points away from them. The Bundesliga is so tight right now. So tight, and it's been like that for a while now, since, well, the whole season right now. And yes, it's not even December yet, but it seems like it's really gonna go down to the very last games in La Liga and in the Bundesliga. Premier League is looking a little different, but we're gonna talk about that a little bit later on. But right now, Dortmund still has a shot. Bayern still need a manager. They don't know who's gonna take over, who is good for the job and can lead them to yet another consecutive, their 8th consecutive Bundesliga title. Or maybe Mönchengladbach looking like they're actually going to take this. I'm not going to lie to you. Bayern fans, this is nothing personal against you guys, but I'm sick and tired of seeing you guys win, and I hope that you don't this year. I'm not praying for your failure. I just really want it to happen. Sorry, I'm not biased. It's just, to be honest, if any other team was doing this, you guys would feel the exact same way too. I'm just saying what you're thinking, okay? I'm sick of y'all winning. Somebody else take it. But speaking of which, this is a good segue into the next part of this, which is all about managers. And the biggest, I would say by far the biggest news of this whole week, Mauricio Pochettino has been sacked by Tottenham Hotspurs. Yes! Sacked like a bag of potatoes. Sacked. Fired. Somebody called the FDNY because they just fired him. Just like that. Dropped him. They dropped him like a beat. This is out of nowhere. This was so unexpected. They're not doing their best right now. But I didn't think after everything he's done for this club that they would actually fire him this easily. And to make matters even more interesting, I won't say worse, because this is why the Premier League, man, when y'all say Premier League is the most entertaining league in the world, y'all are not joking sometimes, because Jose Mourinho was appointed manager of Tottenham Hotspurs the very next day. It's literally like you got a girl and you guys break up, and like the next day you see her with some other dude on a date on her Instagram story. You said I didn't have to worry about him. Okay. Anyways, Mourinho is the guy she tells you not to worry about, basically. Because the very next day, he was all up in that. Purple training gear and everything, posing with a Tottenham shirt. And Mourinho is now the Spurs coach. Just like that. Yeah, man, as we know, Mourinho is one of the greatest managers of all time. So I'm very much sure that he's going to do great. We're going to talk about his opening day in a second. But then that raises the question, will that cause Arsenal to be inspired by their counterparts and drop Unai Emery? Will that open up the spot for Luis Enrique? Will Pochettino go ahead and replace him at Arsenal, or will he go to Bayern Munich? Or is Valverde's job in jeopardy now that Pochettino, the great Pochettino, is free and is ready to take up a coaching position? Will Pochettino take the job? Will Unai Emery leave? Will Smith? Will Farrell? Will what? Will who? Will who do what? When? Why? Where? Why? I said that already. Will what? But anyways, man, now moving on to the Premier League, as I said, the most entertaining league in the world. And we are talking the blue teams. Navy blue versus sky blue. Manchester City versus Chelsea. Versus Chelsea. And Man City were able to come out on top and win this game 2-1. Chelsea are failing their tests against the big teams. They failed against United. They failed against City. They failed against Arsenal. Big teams, yeah. Shout out to Arsenal, by the way. Drawing 2-2 this weekend. But like I said, Lampard is kind of failing his tests against the big team, although Chelsea are still in a better spot than most of the big teams in the Premier League. So right now, it's not too bad. His first season coaching them. The team has a lot of youngsters. Pulisic, there's a lot of guys. Abraham, they're doing really good for the age and the lack of maturity of the team, which is admirable. Like, you got to give it to them. They have a very strong squad, and I'm rooting for them to do the best. But seems like right now they're kind of the easier games, which is such a general thing to say in the Premier League because there are no easier games. But the easier games is what he seems to be getting the 3 points out of. But still props to them. Again, as long as you're getting the 3 points, that's what matters. But Arsenal, seems like, they drew 2-2 to Southampton. Moving on to Tottenham and Mourinho's very first game. Shout out to Arsenal, man. Again, Arsenal, you're bringing this stuff on yourselves. Shout out to Arsenal Fan TV, also bringing more and more entertainment to football, because what would we do without them? I don't know, because they're here and they're part of football culture now. And I enjoy watching a lot of things that develop, man. Seeing fans upset is, I feel for you guys. It's hilarious at the same time, though. But moving on to Tottenham, Mourinho was able to get his first win with Spurs. 3-2 was the result, and they against West Ham, and they were leading 3-0. Actually, Dele Alli even got himself a goal, and it was a convincing win. You know, West Ham was able to get 2 goals, which was a little bit scary at some point, but nonetheless, they got the 3 points. They got 3 goals in, and you know, if they keep it up, but we did see this with Ole Gunnar and Manchester United, who drew 3-3 this weekend. But yeah, you know, Mourinho could just be on that same path. Hopefully not for his sake. But let's see how this develops. The Premier League, I don't know. I don't think that I would have been saying this right now in November. But the Premier League has just gotten even more interesting. But let's forget about all of that. Let's put European football to the side for a minute. And it's all about South American football. And the Copa Libertadores final was this weekend. And Flamengo, the Brazilian Kings, have been crowned champions of South America. Gabigol, the Prince, the Flamengo Prince, now sealing his name as an absolute icon in the game for scoring 2 goals and completing the comeback for Flamengo to beat River Plate in the Copa Libertadores final. Oh my goodness. 38 years, man. 38. 38. And they are now champions again of South America. This is the fact that, first of all, boring final. I will say this, just as boring as the Champions League final with Tottenham and Liverpool. I'm going to be straight up. Okay, there was River Plate. Looked like they were going to take it. They scored early on in the first half, and it looks like they were going to win this final. But in Gabigol, man, Gabriel Barbosa, this man is top scorer in the Brazil League with 22 goals, and he's top scorer in the Copa Libertadores with 9 goals, which now is allowing us to bring back the conversation of Can the Ballon d'Or and the FIFA's best award next year be coming to South America? Because they are eligible for it too. Hello. And this man is top scorer of his domestic league, top scorer of what's basically the Champions League of South America. He won both because after Grêmio defeated Palmeiras this weekend 2-1, Flamengo are now crowned champions of Brazil too. Not only of South America, but domestic in Brazil too. So now he has the Copa Libertadores and Brazil's league trophy, and he is top scorer in both. This man, if he's not top, if he's not one of the finalists for the Ballon d'Or and the FIFA's best player next year, if he keeps this up into next season, well, then there's a bias for European football. So FIFA has a very important choice to make, and this could set a precedent for the next years to come. Put a little lamp, put an eye, put a microscope on South America, because they're doing stuff worth talking about right now. But yeah, man, their parade was crazy. It seems like the whole country of Brazil was over there. It's like Carnival Part 2. Like, there was a crap ton of people. And, of course, after 38 years, bro, you're winning the Copa Libertadores final, like, against Argentina. Basically against Argentina. And River Plate winning it last year and then blocking them from getting that back-to-back title. Absolutely legendary, man. Gabigol has just sealed his name in history. Every Brazilian was going crazy. Even Neymar from Santos and a lot of other Brazilian legends are cheering them on because they deserve it. They were the better team, and they were consistent in the Brazilian league too. But with that being said, let me just go back to Europe for 1 second. As the Champions League is coming, basically the European Copa Libertadores. That's what we call it now. The Copa Libertadores is not the South American Champions League. The Champions League is the European Copa Libertadores. And it's coming back this week. PSG versus Real Madrid. Neymar is coming back in the game after a long-awaited injury. Dortmund versus Barcelona. Dortmund got a lot to prove this week. We have Juventus versus Atletico. So it's definitely going to be a very, very interesting week in football. Stay tuned for next week because I'm bringing all of it right back here on Goal. But guys, if you enjoy this show, make sure you drop a like for it. Just pause this right now. Drop a like. Now that you're back, pause this, subscribe, and then go out on the roof. Go out into the street, Tell your neighbor, tell your neighbor's dogs, moms, cats, father's cousin, tell your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whoever. Tell them to subscribe to the channel, watch the videos, and make sure you check out the music and the social media in the description. And I will see you beautiful people next time on Gol. Peace.